Hello, welcome to our training webinar, How to Make the Most of Standard Reports in NetSuite. My name is Adam Warden and I'm the Marketing Manager at Nola Business Solutions, and today I'm joined by my colleague, NetSuite consultant, Mark O'Leary.
Hi everyone.
So if you are an existing NetSuite user, this webinar is the perfect opportunity to brush up on your skills and hopefully learn something new. Or if you are looking into NetSuite for your business, this session will give you some insight into the powerful finance system of NetSuite. So the agenda for the webinar looks like this. I will quickly introduce Nola Business Solutions and tell you a little bit about us. Mark will then go into the customization of reports, the adding columns, changing labels and inserting filters. Mark will then move into creating a report from scratch, and I will wrap up with some further information on our training and audibility checks. So Nola Business Solutions, we've been in business since 1988, and our in-house development team has really driven innovation in the ERP world with forward-thinking custom-built solutions that plug gaps in off-the-shelf systems. In total, we've around 1,300 customers worldwide, over 60 employees across the UK and North America. And in 2011, we sold our custom developed suite app Fixed Assets to NetSuite, which was integrated into the core NetSuite solution. So on that note, I'm going to hand over to Mark to go through the customization and creation of reports. Go on, Mark.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so thanks, Adam. As he mentioned, quite simply, I'm going to be going through the customization of all of your standard types of reports. I'm also going to be showing you how you can make a basic report from scratch. And the whole process is very simple, really. Now, what you find, all of your reports, when you log into NetSuite, they're all found underneath this reports tab just here. And you can find them all underneath your reports overview. But the good thing about NetSuite is it does also break your reports down into smaller sections for you. So if you wanted to look for specific financial reports, there's all your financial ones. You can see all of your different types of revenue reports, reports on your banking, budgeting, and so on. I'm going to scroll down because I'm going to go look at a specific open purchase orders report. So if I scroll across to my open purchase order, and we'll open up this report. And as you can see, there's obviously my report in its current format. Now, what I'm going to be going through first is all the different types of filters you can obviously see at the very bottom of the actual page. Okay, so the first thing we'll really talk about is your different types of date filters. Now, what you'll find is it's automatically putting a specific date for me. I can change this if I wanted to. So if I wanted a specific type of custom date, I can click on this button. And what you'll notice is there's different types of filters available. So if I wanted to search for a specific type of year format, as you can see, I can look for different types of transactions within the last year, up to the next fiscal year, and so on. And I can do all of this for the day, the week, the month, and different types of quarters as well. So quite intuitive. You also have the ability to insert a specific date range if you wanted to. So I can click on this button here and simply just add in a specific date if I wanted to. And I can also change my different types of subsidiaries. So what you'll notice at the moment, my report is pulling off all of my open purchase orders for the headquarters consolidated. So that is every single subsidiary located underneath and including the headquarters. In the bottom, notice these different types of filters. So the first one, if I click on it, what you'll notice, I'm just going to minimize my screen slightly, is this is where you can change the different types of format of your actual report. So as you'll notice at the moment, my report is in a grid format. If I wanted to, I could change this to plain, just like so, and obviously removes my different type of grid format just there. You've got the different types of expansion levels. So at the moment, it's automatically set up as expand all. That simply means that it's going to show every single open purchase order available, but you can collapse this if you needed to. I can click on the drop down, go to collapse all, and as you'll notice, it starts to collapse it all and obviously just display just the totals. Or you can obviously select different types of levels as well if you wanted to. And we're going to leave this as expand all. And what you can also do is have the title display as well. So if I wanted to, I can display my title just at the very top of the page, just like so. Okay. I'll close this down. I'm just going to expand my screen slightly. The other filters you've got two different options just here. So these are for collapsing and expanding your reports as well. So if you wanted to, I can collapse it all, or I can expand it all just like so. You have 4 different options for exporting your report. So the first one is exporting it to an Excel document. You can export to PDF document, export to CSV, and also export to a Word document as well. You've got the print option. So this will actually print off your report in its current format available for yourself. You've got email option. So I can actually email this particular report to myself and also other colleagues. So as you'll notice in the top right hand side, I'm logged in as a demo site for a user called Larry Nelson. And I have actually set this up so that this email can obviously send across to myself, Larry Nelson. I can also type in my colleagues if I wanted to. So I can send this email across to other colleagues as either a carbon copy or a blind carbon copy as well. You have the ability customize your own message. So if you wanted to type out a specific message, you can do so. And you can also attach other types of documentation as well if you wanted to as well. Cancel this. And the last filter you have available for yourself is the schedule option. So what the schedule will simply do is it automatically will run this particular report at specific periods for yourself. So what you'll notice is this particular report has automatically put in today's date and also a specific type of time period as well. And you can obviously change this if you wanted to. All it simply means is that the report will automatically run for you. You can have a recurring schedule set up. So if I wanted to run this report more than once, as you'll notice, it's currently set up so that it runs every single Tuesday, starting from today at 6:39 in the morning. And obviously you can change this to your requirements. You can also have end dates in there as well. So if you wanted to continuously run this particular report, you can do so with the no end date option, or you can simply put in a final date and obviously it will automatically stop at that particular period. And the good thing about your schedules as well is it also allows you to email those particular reports as well. So following on from the previous filter I showed you, you can obviously have email set up as well. We close this down. I'm now going to show you how you can actually customize this particular report. So you'll notice on the far left-hand side, we've got a customize button. Click on this button just here. It'll open up this particular report in its current format for yourself. Now, what you'll notice is the very first thing I'm really going to be talking about is the name option, top left-hand side. It's automatically put the name as open purchase orders, which was the name of the original report, but put the word custom in front of it. And the good thing about these types of reports is when you go to customize a report, it leaves the original report intact. So all it simply does is it copies the original report and creates a second version for yourself. So it's quite good so that if you find yourself in a situation where you customize your report and it's not quite working out as expected, don't worry about it because it leaves the original report intact and you can obviously always go back to that one if you needed to. But this will simply add in a specific name for the report if you wanted to. Scrolling down the page, you have a help option just here. This simply just gives you a bit of a background information about how to obviously add in specific types of columns onto your report. But it's a very simple process. So what you'll notice is there is a search option just here. You can obviously search for the different types of columns if you wanted to. If not, you can click on the little plus symbol just like so. Now, what you'll notice is there's a number of different types of columns available for yourself. If I just add in a few, so we'll go for date created. So as you'll notice, it adds in the date created column on the far right-hand side. If I add in a couple more, we'll add in build to as well, just like so. And if we scroll up to the very top, you also have the ability to add in formula fields as well. So if we add in a formula field, just like so. So those are our 3 new columns. Now, what you can do is you can change the format and the layout of your actual reports. If I wanted to, I can simply just drag and drop, just like so. If you wanted to, you can use the move left or move right options, just like so. Now, if I wanted to set up this specific type of formula field, you'll notice if I scroll down slightly, there's a number of different types of filters I can use. So you can obviously change the label name if you wanted to. You can add in a grand total. So underneath my formula column, I may decide to add in a total field. I'm going to add it in just like so. And you can decide how you want your formula to actually be set up. So if I click on the drop down, you'll notice there's a number of different types of formulas available for yourself. I'm going to simply just go for the top one, sum, adding in 2 columns together. And you can then decide which 2 columns to add together. So we're going to actually add in our current amount to the total transaction amount. So it's only really the 2 amount columns on there. We'll add them together. Current amount and total transaction. Now, once I'm happy with this, you'll notice at the very bottom of the page, you've got the preview button. So if I preview my report, as you'll notice now, there's my 3 different columns at the very end. And you'll notice my formula column has also added the current amount to the total transaction amount. And there's obviously the final total. You'll notice on this particular occasion that the bill to column doesn't actually have information. So I'm going to go back to the customization page. We're going to remove this particular column now. So if we click on remove column, just like so. If you wanted to change labels of the fields, you can do so. You can change any of these label fields if you needed to. This one's obviously called date created. If I wanted to simply just click on it, add in PO date created, just like so. There are obviously options to make specific changes to other types of columns as well. So if we go for the current amount, I can click on this, scroll down the page slightly, and you'll notice we've obviously got the ability to change the label if we needed to. Now, with this particular type of amount column, you've got other options available. So we can drop the decimals. So you'll notice if I click on the checkbox, it's removed the decimal places. Add those back in. You can also take this particular column and divide it by 1000, just like so. You can decide how you want your negative numbers to display. So if you wanted brackets or minus figures, you have the ability to choose which format. And you can also decide to have your negatives display in a red color if you wanted to. You've got the summary drop-down box just here. So the summary will simply just allow you to display a summary for the aggregated values of this particular column. You can add in a grand total. So if I wanted the total at the very end of the column, I can do so. And you can also add in 2 additional columns, one for the running balance and one for the percentage of the total column as well. So if we add in those. Now, once I'm happy, I can obviously click on the preview button. So the good thing about this particular page is it's allowing us to actually customize the actual report, but not make specific changes. So if you're not happy with your report at the moment, you don't have to save it. You can simply just come out of the report and it won't make any changes at all. But as you'll notice, there is our final report, including the percentage column that we've obviously just added in as well. So once we're happy with our report, we can go to the return to customization. And once we're happy, we can simply click on the save button. That'll obviously then save our report and simply save it as custom open purchase orders to. And we can then find that underneath our report section, underneath a section just there called save reports. And that's how to customize the actual reports. Okay, so as you'll notice, it is a very simple process. I'm going to show you now how you can create a report from scratch. So if we go back to our home page, if I go to the report section, we'll go down to new report. Now, what you'll notice is it comes up with a whole list of different types of metrics that we can then report on. So if I wanted to report on open payables, there's an option just there. You can view different types of opportunities. So if you're actually using NetSuite to its full capabilities with opportunities, leads, support cases, and so on, you have the ability to report on all of those different types of metrics. You can view all of your different types of transactions. So there's all of your posting transactions just down there. We're going to go for purchases. We're going to look for all of our purchase transactions. You'll notice it's automatically put in a report title, so simply just called a custom purchases summary. As you can see here, I can simply just add in a report title, so we've just added in the number 2 in there. And the first thing that comes up is it tells you what type of field you want to report on. So because we're looking for purchase types of transactions, I obviously want to report on the amount, the gross amount of all of those purchases. You can then decide the format of your report. So you've got 3 options available. You've got your summary, detail, and matrix report. Now, the good thing about this is if you don't actually know how this works, you've got the field help option available. So if I click on one of the field helps, as you'll notice, it tells you a brief summary about the actual formats available. So you've got your summary report, and this is the default report. So this is the most common type of report that's really used by a lot of our users. It simply just provides all the summary information. You've got your detail report, and that simply just shows a list of the items affecting the values within the report. And the last one is your matrix report. And this is simply just a summary report with variable number of columns. It actually gives you a bit more detail rather than just your summary report. Okay, so it's a bit more in depth for yourselves. We're going to go for the detail report. And the last two options simply just decide how you obviously want to report on the actual subtotal. So we obviously want to look for the vendors and the actual names of those vendors. So essentially, when I run this report, I'm looking for what vendors based on their name and what is the amount in gross for each of those purchases by those vendors. So once I'm happy, I can click on the run report option. Now, what you'll notice is it has obviously come up with there's no data available. So I'm going to simply just change my filters at the very bottom. We're going to go for the Americas Consolidated. And we're also going to change the date range. So we're going to go for 2020 and click on the refresh option. And what you'll notice is it has now come up with a number of different types of purchases that are obviously found within NetSuite. And it's also broken this down into vendor names for us. So as you can see, we've got all of our vendor names, such as Freeze Electronics on there. You've got Charles Schwab. And as you'll notice, it tells us all the different types of purchases, and obviously they're currently in the bill format, and what the gross amount is for each of those bills as well. This particular report is very good because what it does is allows you to then open up these particular transactions if you wanted to. So you can then click on these if you wanted to, and it opens up that particular bill for Charles Schwab. But what you'll find with this particular section is it then allows you to then customize reports, similar to what we've obviously just gone through, where you can click on the customize button and start to customize it, adding in columns, adding in formulas, obviously changing labels and filters and so on. Okay. Now, there's a couple of other things I wanted to show you as part of the actual report customization. You've got the filters tab. So we've got filters just here. The filters allow you to add in specific types of filters for your actual report. So at the moment, it's filtering on the data and the subsidiary. If I wanted to, I can open up my purchases. We can add in different types of filters. If we said, well, actually, we want to look for all of our purchases based on the date created. We'll search for a specific date. We'll add in a date on there. We'll just change this back to 2020. You can decide if you wanted that particular filter to be added onto the homepage of the report, which we would like it to. So we'll click on the OK option. You've got the sorting option available for yourself as well. So at the moment, it's sorting all of our report transactions based on the gross amount. If you wanted to add in additional sort filters, you have the ability to do so. Same type of process, you can add in the fields. We can add in the date created. If we're not happy with it though, we've got a little cross on the far right-hand side, so we can delete this. And the last option is your more options availability. So this simply just gives you a bit more detail about how to customize your report. So if you wanted to view all of your purchases, including the 0 options on there, then you have that ability to do so. You can decide to have your report show on the reports page, so display it on this particular list. So you can tick on this. And the last one I'll simply talk about is the access for the actual report. So if you wanted this particular report to be available for every single user within your organization, you can click on the roles. And that obviously just simply means that every single user within my organization has access to this particular report. Once you're happy with the actual report, you can obviously preview it. And if you're really happy, you can simply click on the save option. And that is how to create a basic report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark. I've got a quick question for you.
Yes.
If you will. Is there any help available within NetSuite to help with the customization or creation of reports?
Yeah, so that's actually a very good question. So there's two different options available for yourself. So the first one is the help page. So as you'll notice on my home page, I've got a help tab. If I click on help, if I simply just type in standard reports, what you'll notice is there is a page for standard reports. I can click on this and you'll notice it actually comes up with all of the different types of sections available for your reports. So as you can see here, there's all of our financial reports, reports on employees, purchases. And what you'll notice, if I wanted to break it down a bit more in detail, I can click on the financial tab. There's all of our financial reports, such as the balance sheet detail report. I can open this up. And as you'll notice, it tells me a bit more about the actual report, including what type of columns are obviously available for the actual reports as well, and obviously where to find this particular report. The last option you have available is the Suite Answers. So Suite Answers is very useful because obviously it provides a bit more media for you. So obviously there's videos available for yourselves, Word documents, PDFs, different types of guides as well. So as you can see, if I just wanted to type in the word reports, I can search for this. This is a very good piece of documentation just here because it tells you a bit more in detail about adding, removing, and reordering your report types of columns as well.
Right.
So those are quite useful.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mark.
No problem. Thank you.
I'll grab control of the screen again. Okay. So some further information just to wrap up then. Now, ongoing training is a big win for businesses using NetSuite. When people move on, they take all that training and knowledge with them about your system. So it is crucial to replace that knowledge and stay up to date with new functionality available in new releases of the software. Now at Nolan, we offer training via one-to-one sessions with a consultant on a particular area of the system with the user. This personal approach enables easy interaction and collaboration. We do group training. Small groups of around six people work best. This provides easy communication between the group and experiences can be shared. Now, this can be done on site or at our offices, depending on what works best for you. Or we can do remote training if your users are in different locations, which enables easy access for all. We also have webinars available on popular topics that are delivered and recorded to be viewed on our YouTube channel. And below you can see what is coming up, and you'll hear about all of these via our website, socials and email. Okay, and finally, if you have been using NetSuite for a long time, you may benefit from looking at your system to ensure it is adding as much value as possible to your organization. Ask yourself these 4 questions on the screen, and if you answer yes to any of them, you may want to consider a usability audit. If so, follow the QR code on the screen and get in touch with Nolan, and we'll be sure to arrange this with you. That is it for today. Thank you very much for watching this webinar. Our contact details are on the screen, so please get in touch for any further information and be sure to follow us on our social channels. If you did ask any questions in the chat box today, we'll come back to you directly as soon as possible with answers to your questions. Other than that, have a great week and look out for our upcoming webinars. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.